Hello and welcome to Frank School, 7th year, 142nd day, first video. Smitten, the final act. I choose to look upon this in terms of acts to kind of sort it out. In Shakespearean terms, the final act was often called the denouement. Is this really a denouement? I don't know. There's more development. It's not just a tying up of loose ends, as that's usually called. Now, I better erase stuff because there's so much here. All of the dancers were good in that dance, in the big dance before the wedding. They were all good. Rosalia, for example, she deserves credit for that wonderful dance, but they were all good. Don Rossi's hat, it becomes important. I'll leave that there, actually. He's wearing a hat this whole time. The Tyler-father exchange, these are things I'm just going to point out as you watch. In that exchange, money versus heart. Purses, totes, shoes, boots. I think he says totes there. They don't matter to Tyler, he says. What matters is his heart. And this is one of the reasons I'm pulling this movie out for so much of my own attention, for this statement that's being made. He goes on to say, I care about his bride, but I care about you. The father-son tension is resolved here. Money's just another crazy spell, he says. He's not going to fall into that spell. After the wedding's over, everyone gets drunk at the reception, especially Don Rossi. And Don Rossi, he gets so drunk he loses his hat. He forgets his hat there. But notice his tears at the wedding. A lot of people cry at weddings. Well, he's a sentimental Italian, it turns out, and his heart has been moved. Basha, they're all calling for a kiss. I wonder a little bit, I don't speak Italian, and I looked it up, and sure, Basha is the imperative mode. Kiss, kiss, it's a command to kiss. I wonder a little bit if that's not the word I couldn't figure out on the roof scene where Tyler confused it with bagno. Basha, bagno. It could have been Basha with an N on the end of it. I just don't know Italian well enough, but I suspect that might be the joke. If you look at the credits, Nuka, as I spelled it phonetically, I think they call her Nuta is the character name. Her real name is Lily. This is the cow. I thought you might want to know that. She's given credit in the credits. Is there an allusion to God and giving life to Adam in the Sistine Chapel with the hands of the two gay lovers? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised from what I know of this movie. That was probably intentional. We find out that Aldo doesn't just can love more than just one particular cow. He loves animals. He loves pets. And a lot of people love pets. Hopefully everybody does. After Luta, he deals with that after Luta, her name goes for that horned cow. It's not a bull. But in the movie, they never say it's a bull. And you can't maybe really tell, but I think that's kind of funny because a lot of people think if a cow's got horns, it must be a bull. That's a cow. Anyone who really knows cattle and looks at the head knows that that's a cow. Hutton, when he wakes up in the barn, is smitten by himself. First thing he sees is himself in the mirror. Now this is like Narcissus. There's a Greek myth about Narcissus from which we get narcissistic, something we've had a very strong dose of for the last 4 years. I got to slip in here, but anyway, that's fine to love yourself. You should love yourself, and we're given the idea that the father finally he's comfortable with himself now. Rosalia's dress, that's something I would change. For me, it's kind of a come down. So beautifully dressed as kind of a peasant woman in a way. To see her dressed up like that, I guess you'd have to do something like that for a wedding, but that's something I would have changed if possible. I would not have had her in that kind of a dress. When the mayor says, "Don't scratch my beloved car," that gives us the idea that they don't know where they're going exactly because they're in a travel club after all, but they're coming back. It leave me wondering if bread and breakfast, is that what they're going to do? Because that's what Tyler had wanted to do in the first place, to have a bread and breakfast, if you can remember back there. Nona's lipstick, when she returns the hat to Don Rossi, that's such a shocker. That's a little bit like that dress on Rosalia Oh, but then when she takes the hat off and her hair's there, it feels better. And of course, that's such a kicker there that Don Rossi has also now fallen under the spell. Finally, toward the end, as the credits are, or almost at the credits are running, we see Condemned to Love and Smitten on that board, whatever that board is that they snap when the scene starts. I'm just pointing out things to notice. The music at the end is so good, in my opinion. You know, I guess this movie didn't win any awards for that music, but the music at the end, with the whistling, you know, how often is whistling used as an instrument, and the accordion playing at the end, and that's not all. Very, very good. Now, I watched this to the very end of the credits, and there's so many people involved in a movie like that. It's unbelievable to me. But I also noticed Valles. I'll look where that is. Filmed on location in Rome. That was not Milan. That was in Rome, the city part. And then I'll look where Valles is. That's probably the Italian word for valley. So many credits. Well, I'm not done with this movie, but I'm done guiding you through the actual viewing of it. I've got more to say about its significance, especially to me. Bye for now.